Whew, Papa John, day 93, headed towards the 501 shelter, which is still in Pennsylvania. I'm 2 days from Hamburg, Pennsylvania, and it rained a lot last night, but I was in a shelter. That's where you want to be when it's raining, lightning, thunder. Slept good. It's a little wet today, but I think most of the rain's gone. It looks like the skies are pretty clear. We'll get it done. The 501 shelter is about 18 miles away. It's supposed to be one of the nicest shelters on the AT, so I'm looking forward to it. Oh, and another big thing today is the amount of miles I have left goes under 1,000 after today. We're on the road again at 6:30. Looks like the sun's coming out and breaking through the clouds. I don't have cell service here, so I can't tell if rain is forecast today, but I do see some blue skies, and the next shelter should be pretty nice. There were reports that beavers had flooded this part of the trail, but it looks okay so far. We will check in with you in a little bit. Occasionally the trail takes some dirt roads or old railroad track beds, and those are the best, man. If they were all like that, you could do 30 miles a day, but you just got to enjoy them while you get them. It rained at least a couple of inches last night, so there will be plenty of water today. This is the Beaver Dam. This is what our friends the beaver have created. This is what they've done to the Appalachian Trail. Guthooks isn't working this morning. I am not sure how I'm going to get around this, but I guess I'll start trying to figure it out. Got me a little footbridge here. Beaver Dam and a footbridge. I figured it out. You just walk through it. I'm sure y'all are familiar with the white blazes. There's other terms we use out on the trail, like blue blazing. There are some blue trails that either they may go off in another direction, they may hook back up with the AT, and if you take one of those, it's called blue blazing. There's aqua blazing. I had some friends that in the Shenandoahs, instead of hiking through the Shenandoahs, they took a canoe or raft or something and stayed on the raft for 7 or 8 days, going down the Shenandoah River instead of hiking through the Shenandoah National Park. That's called aqua blazing. I kind of feel like I aqua blaze just going across that Beaver Dam. But what else? There's yellow blazing. That's hiking on the road or having somebody pick you up and drive you to where you're going. It's called yellow blazing. It's kind of frowned upon. So I heard there's pink blazing. That's when guys find a female they want to hike with and just keep following her around. So I heard a couple I hadn't heard before last night. Banana blazing. That's kind of the opposite. That's when women find a guy they want to hike with and follow him around. And then finally, there's silver blazing, which I hadn't heard of. An elderly man was in our camp last night. He said silver blazing is when you can't remember where you came from and you can't remember where you're going, but you just keep hiking every day. So I'm sure there are other terms we use, but those are pretty common. For those of you coming behind me, there is an alternate dry route, so you don't have to go through the Beaver Dam. Okay, my Guthooks app is back on. I think what the deal is when they send out updates, if you don't have Wi-Fi coverage, if you don't have cell coverage, for whatever reason, maybe it's just me, I don't know if it happens to other people, but I can't open my Guthooks if it needs to update something. So once I got to a point where I had cell coverage, it was searching for updates and it updated some stuff, and now I'm back on. you know, seems like if it ever goes out, it's when you need it the most, but that's just the way life is. That's Murphy's Law, and I needed it this morning, but it's updated now. It's a great product. I don't know how people did it without Guthooks, but I guess they just did like me and had to figure it out. There are times on the trail when I feel like, damn, does anybody have it better than me today? And today is one of those days. It's good to be here. Good to be on the trail. End of May. I don't know what day it is. Humid, hot, thirsty, sweaty. That's right. Slow progress today. Rocky, and it's so humid out, the rocks are slick. So I fell once, and just trying not to fall some more. Little rocky though. This is what Pennsylvania is famous for, but I will say there have been some really good parts of Pennsylvania that didn't have a lot of rocks. I hardly ever do this, stop and sit down and eat lunch, but I don't know, got a craving for these ramen noodles, and I'm about 4 miles from where I'm going. It's about 1:30. I'm going to the 501 shelter, and I had to stop for water, and I just said, oh man, some ramen noodles and tuna would be so good. So I'm going to stop and eat lunch, and it's about 1:30, be gone about 2 o'clock. I'll probably pull into my campsite about 4 o'clock. That was a good lunch break. If you're familiar with the trail, this is where William Penn Shelter is. This is where the campsite is. The shelter's off on another Blue Blaze. But ramen noodles and tuna, 500 calories and 20 grams of protein of pure deliciousness. That hit the spot. Okay, my people, it's a big moment for me. I know it doesn't look like a big moment, but when I started this journey and took my first step off of Springer Mountain, I had 2,192 more miles to go. I now have less than 1,000. Granted, it's 999.9, but it's less than 1,000. I don't know, to me that feels like a big deal, because when I look at my AT guide, I don't see 1,000 and something miles to go. Now it's in the 900s. And we'll just keep marching along till we get there. That's a heck of a rain. Glad I got to the shelter before this hit.
It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Woo! New York, New York. From Hurt, Mississippi, all the way to Tupelo, I caught an eastbound freight train. Sky high hopes and open eye scopes and earth all over my face. I'm going to New York City, the greatest place to be country style, running wild. What happened to your mama's baby child? The new Ocean is a deep one.